Are you known for having a smart mouth in your family? Does your mother often try to control how you dress, where you work, who your friends should be, what your career should be, what your life should be? But you can't do anything about it because you're a first generation child who can't afford to move out? Well, fear no more. Today's episode includes the ultimate survival guide for living at home with your parents once you graduate or gain consciousness, whichever comes first for you. Perfect for those pesky little comments that make you want to bang your head against the wall. So make sure to listen up while you wash your face, do homework, commute, or merely just exist in this sick, sick world, you pretty little things.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Malcriada. That's of a girl in a sick world. And what a sick, sick world it fucking is. I'm your host, Citali Melgarejo, here to talk to you about all things femme, fair, and feared. Thank you so much for being here. So, a little update, you guys, about the podcast and where I kind of want to take this. And essentially, I'm gonna be uploading podcast by season. I'm aiming for about 15 episodes per season, but honestly, I might make them a little longer because I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like just 15 episodes is enough, like, for one season. I feel like when shows do that, it's like, give me. Well, yeah, a lot of them are filler, right? But it's just comforting, just a lot. A big, 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 fat, chunky story. And I mean, or maybe I'll just have like 1,000 billion seasons. Like, I don't know, because I just have so much to say, I guess. But I'm aiming for 15 because I'm putting small goals for myself. I don't want to overwhelm myself with making the podcast succeed, like get overnight fame right away. I'm not really expecting that. And by me, like, I'm not gonna go crazy with everything. Like, I'm not gonna buy the the best camera out there like right away. And I'm just trying to take my time, and I'm working on it. I have a lot of ideas. And yeah. Okay. So, we're on season 1. This is episode 7. 7. Fuck yeah. And oh my god, I shot out 7 episodes already. That sounds cool. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. But anyways, back to the podcast. Today, we'll be discussing how you can survive living at home with your parents as a malcriada. And I know it's so hard to bite your fucking tongue. And I'm here to tell you that you're not crazy, you're not dramatic, and you have every right to defend yourself when someone is being rude or passive aggressive. Unfortunately, we don't have that privilege to be heard. It's really sad, but it's true. Like, when I lived at home as a daughter, I was constantly being policed in everything I do, what I wore, how I spoke, who I hung out with, how I moved, how I existed. And I quickly learned that being a woman is just taking responsibilities for men's actions. It's a man's world and everything, and that's why it's so sick. But in order to keep my sanity, I tell myself that the evil in the world just happened to find shelter in the men who started all this bullshit, okay? That's just how the chips fell. Not because men are naturally purely evil. I don't want to believe that at all. That if it weren't for this horrible patriarchal conditioning, we'd all be okay. I would like to believe that. But things aren't like that. And women and femmes got the shit end of the societal stick. But anyways, we have to worry about things they don't, like the generations of women and femmes who came before us know, like, they know more than anyone, you know, like, but they express it in the only way they know how. And usually this is in a very degrading way. The a way that endures like, yeah, like misogynistic thinking. And examples of this can be seen as mothers slut shaming, body shaming, and silencing their daughters. If you don't know what the proper term for body shaming and slut shaming is, I would suggest you look it up. There's a lot of good information out there by just a little click of a few buttons. Yeah. But I'm gonna, like, I guess, define it how I have perceived the world, I guess, right? Slut shaming is honestly now, because people are, well, not people, now because America, modern America, is being more exposed to the different gender identities that other cultures have had forever. It's used for every gender. Like, you could shame anyone for sleeping around, you know? But originally, and I feel like still to this day, of it impacts women and femmes way more, is just shaming someone for having sex. Just purely the act of having sex. And it lessens your value. And I'm not about that. I will never tell someone that they're worth less than me because they fuck someone more than me. And I feel like a lot of people are, like, taking back the term, like, slut in general. Like, they're like, oh, like, you're such a slut because you just had sex. Like, it's not because, ooh, I'm shaming you because you had sex. Like, no, like, sluts have sex. Like, all that stuff. Kind of like what everyone is doing, like, kind of reusing our own language again. Like, Malcriada. I'm just recycling the word and making it something that just means something else, because I feel like almost everything is made, not everything on purpose and not naturally, just, again, how the chips fell. Everything is made targeting women and femmes of color, specifically, we want to get even more specifically, black women and femmes. And it's just tiring. I'm tired. I think we're all really tired. And a really sad thing is that we can't even find comfort in our own home. And that's what this episode is about today. So yeah, lots of mothers just slut shame, body shame, and silence their daughters. And I'm here to tell you things that your mom probably means to say, but maybe she doesn't have the right words right now. But your situation could be different. My mom didn't finish middle school, and she's one of the smartest people I know. She loves to learn, she loved school, and she was like me, like, always raising her hand too much. I think I have an episode about that earlier where I talked about how they just fucking teacher just would be upset at me that I fucking raised my hand, that I knew your fucking material. But she would tell me stories that that's how people treated her as well. Like, she was like me. Just, yeah, it's just crazy. And now, like, as an adult, like, I understand that she didn't have anyone to teach her how to communicate, because she was always on survival mode. She was always on survival mode. And she shows me she loves me with her actions. Like, she cooks for me, and she cleaned up after me when I lived with her, and she wanted to keep me healthy and alive, you know? Purely instinct, right? For her, I guess. But the way she says everything makes me want to bang my head against the wall. True story, by the way. If you feel the way I did when I was a teeny itty bitty little girl, then listen up. Because I'm going to decode what your mom means. But first, a little disclaimer again in the transatlantic accent because it's just so fun.
The following are just survival tactics to protect your peace in your toxic household. The Malcriada podcast does not excuse the behavior of any narcissistic parent. However, sometimes staying home is the only option some of us have. Trust me, I ran away from home twice, and each time I came back with my tail tucked between my legs. Even though your parents might seem like they hate you, they really are just ashamed of themselves for not getting farther in life than they would have hoped. But they would do anything for you. And if you don't hear that from them, then you'll hear it from me. Your safety matters. If you are not in a life-threatening situation in your own home, please, 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 leave your parents' house when you are able to support yourself, so you don't end up in even more dangerous situations out there in the world, like I did. Now, without further ado, Narcissistic Parent Translation.
So, first on the list, I have right here, you're not leaving the house looking like that. And so, why would someone say that? Why would a grown woman look at their child and think, that child looks a little too sexy. I better go tell her that she can't be looking like that because she cannot have sex until I say so. So, I'm gonna tell her that she looks dumb and ugly and like a slut who isn't a niña de casa. That's like a whole another episode in of its own. The niña de casa-ness. Oh my god. But anyway, what her little brain is trying to say is, I don't want others looking at my little girl with evil intentions. That's what she means, you know? When your mom criticizes how you dress, she's not thinking about your self-expression. She's only thinking about how other people are going to perceive you. Because as modern malcriadas, we know that fucking nasty men are going to fucking look at us in disrespectful ass ways, like no matter what we fucking wear. But our moms are so deep into that fucking purity culture that they think that it makes a difference. Whether you're, they think what you wear makes a difference in whether you're harassed or not. You know what I mean? And it's awful. But that's what she actually is trying to tell you. If you take out all that nastiness from your mom, when you take out like all the fucking brainwashing, there you go, that's so much better, oh my god. When you take out the colonialism, the purity culture that was jammed into her fucking little skull since she was a child, like, that bitch probably drank like Coke. You know what I mean? I feel like that's one of the reasons so many of our fucking Latino grandmas and grandmoms are just obsessed with Coke. Like, they used to fucking poison people. My mom's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna still drink it. She always is like, oh, I'm gonna be so healthy and eating sugar and inhaling anything is bad, and she makes me so anxious all the time. And then she's like, can you go buy me a Coke? And it's like, girl. And yeah, I don't know if that's problematic. I don't want to be problematic. If it is, I'm sorry. I did not mean to be problematic with my accusing all of abuelitas and tias and moms like to be slut shamers because they drink Coke. That's not the case. But I mean, it could be. Okay, you know what I mean. Anyways. Um so yeah, our moms were so fucked up. Like all that shit that was jammed into their little like skulls, like I said. Like and all the trauma that they're forced to just like to be told to suck it up. Like no one is told to suck it up more than women of color and women and femmes of color. Like it's fucking crazy. Um and when you kind of step outside when like you're becoming an adult, I feel like that's a really big disclaimer that I need to give you guys, because when you live so close to the situation, when you live so close to the problem, like what's the problem? Like narcissistic parents. It's really hard to appreciate them when you live with them. You see this person at its most raw, they're most vulnerable, they're worse, they're bad, and you didn't even ask for this person. You know what I mean? They probably didn't even ask for you either. Like things shit just happens because they were miseducated on having sex. Maybe they were harassed. Because how many of our fucking parents have like years fucking apart? Like I get that it was a different time back then, right? But how are like, and yeah, you can work on it and be better like now because like plus you're married and you have 2 kids. Like what the fuck are you gonna do? Be like, no, I'm gonna divorce you because this little girl online says that it's weird that we're together. Like obviously they're not gonna fucking do that, and our parents are not gonna do that. But the thing is, like, what are they doing now? You know what I mean? Like they're not working on their power dynamic. They're not trying to balance it. You know, and as long as they keep doing that, it's not going to be a good environment for anyone to be around with. It's not even just you, it's anyone. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm coming at you guys with this type of like try to understand your mom, it's because I don't live with my mom anymore, and I'm seeing how like what she meant. I'm learning how to appreciate her, because I learned that I can't do shit for myself. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I can't do it. Like, I can cook. I can clean. I've been doing it, like, all my life. But, because I always had other people to, take care of. Now, I don't have anyone to take care of for myself. And it sucks because that's the last person I want to take care of. But I'm learning and I'm trying really hard. And I hope that you guys listening to this, you might be cleaning, you might be doing anything. Like, literally do anything. That's what podcasts are for. Because okay, so you know how when we're little and you're a little kid and you get told you're stupid, you can't do anything, you are worthless, like, you ruined my body, like, you ruined my life. Like, that's all you hear when you grow up. You learn to believe it, right? Everyone knows this. Or most people know this. I don't want to assume, I don't know what you know. I don't know what goes on in your mind. But this is what goes on in mine. And shit, like, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah. Right, okay. So for podcasts, like, if you listen to other people talking about reassuring you that, hey, like, your trauma, the shit you went through was real, it happened, and the same thing happened to so many other people, you're not fucking crazy. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. People just did the wrong things to you. That's why you're like this. It's not because you're a bad person and you don't deserve to live. And yeah, like, we need to stop we need to stop thinking that our parents are like gods. And I feel like when you're little and you're a kid, they fucking raise you to be guilty all the time for whatever the fuck happened in their life. And then you grow up and you realize, hey, like, that's not true. But yeah, that's what podcasts are for. So you're listening to good, you could use them for that. You're listening to good things. You're listening to things that reassure you. And like sometimes I don't want to tell it to myself. Like that's what my people in therapy world buy. That's what therapists that's what therapists tell you to do. Like you go to therapy, they're gonna tell you you have to rewire your brain. You have to tell yourself that you're important. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're important. You're important. You're important. You're a good person. You're a good person. You're a good person. Sometimes that's a little too much for people. Sometimes I don't have like I'm constantly being judged by people. I've always known how that feels. And not just in a, oh, I'm a girly girl in the world way. No, like, in a, I'm a woman. Ugh, that word is weird. I'm a woman. I've been objectified all my life. I'm an immigrant. A lot of I've experienced so much xenophobia. And yeah, like I've just experienced a lot of shitty things happen to me in the world. Like, oh, also like a daughter and like the way misogyny works in families, like it's horrible. Like, not even your own parents, like you would think, oh, the whole world fucking treats me like shit, right? Like, at least my own parents won't. You're fucking wrong, bitch. And this isn't exclusive to just me or girls, right? But fuck, man, like a lot of like cishet guys, like they get, like I said, like they don't get the shit end of the stick. Like, we're all in the shit planet. No, we're all shit. No. We're all existing in a really random place, and some things are just more random than the other ones, but it just happens to be really bad to me, and it kind of is planned, but no one wants to admit that it was planned. And yeah, I just feel like I'm always being lied to. And parents play a really big part in that. But like I said, like when you step out into the world and reflect, and you have time by yourself to reflect, you can kind of see like, oh, like fuck, like my parent is just a person, and they don't fucking, I didn't deserve to be treated like that. That doesn't mean that that's okay. Oh, it's okay, you're a person. Oh, you fucking abused me because you're just a silly little person. You're just silly and you just did a little person thing. Like, no. Context matters. And yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next point. Yeah. Okay. Next point. The next point is how you can de-escalate. So just imagine your fucking mom is like, you walk down the stairs, you're dressed all cute, you're trying to find a new style, whatever, and then your mom is like telling you you're not fucking going out like that. Whether it's because she doesn't like the style, or whether it's because it's too quote unquote revealing, right? This is how you can de-escalate. Just a little offer. Just offering something that can actually work, because I feel like therapists sometimes say things and it doesn't really work, because yeah, anyways, you could say, mommy, I can't control what other people think, but this outfit makes me feel pretty and confident, but you're right. In case I feel uncomfortable, I'll take this jacket to cover up, and my friend is here to pick me up, and I don't want to keep her waiting. So, can you walk me to the car? Okay, so the most important thing, like, is to not give them a reaction. And that's so hard because if you're living at home, you're either just a teenager and that's like your thing, like you're growing and you're in your hormones are at its peak, their peak or whatever the fuck, not peak, but like you're barely experiencing like hormones in the way that in this stage in your life, and you're like, what the fuck, and you're mad at the world, and that's okay. Like, this is your time to do that. Do it. But again, like, this is a survival tactic for malcriadas, and sometimes we don't have that space, so we have to grow up a little faster. But hey, anything to get us to that safe space, and that safe space is gonna be when you can live by yourself and you have your own kingdom. Period. That's what my gynecologist told me. And this is kind of wordy. It's really wordy, right? But hey, like, this is the main point. I can't control what other people think, but this outfit makes me feel pretty and confident. So you're like pointing out something like that she is worried about already. You're addressing something that she didn't say. And that's the whole thing, right? Parents are super passive aggressive. It's like, you're not leaving the house looking like that. She's not saying it, but she's saying it. She's either saying you look ugly, or you look like a slut, or you look whatever. It's honestly, it's either one of those. Or you look, yeah. The thing here is addressing things that she doesn't want to talk about in a mature way, so you don't have to deal with her immaturity. And I know it sucks, like, having to play at these little mind games and with your parents, but like I said, when you're an adult, you're not gonna have to deal with this. When you're an adult and you have your own place and you have your own everything, you set the boundaries. You decide who talks to you like how. You know what I mean? And right now you're just placing better, it's just like a soft launch for boundaries for the future. Yeah, think of this as your soft launch for your new boundaries, because that's honestly what it is. It's honestly what it is. All right. Next. Oh. You're getting a second plate? ¿Vas a estar llorando when your clothes don't fit you? Or anything resembling the looks like you're gaining weight and commenting on your body. But let's be specific, because skinny girls are not shamed and are not oppressed in the way that fucking fat women, fat bodies are oppressed. Like, come on now, like, let's be fucking serious. First of all, fuck fat phobia. We all grew up thinking that gaining weight is a woman's worst nightmare. It's fucking not. Like, have you fucking heard of MK Ultra, dude? Because that fucking scares me more, you know what I mean? Like, who said this? And the world said this. Everyone said this. Everyone said this. And it's horrible that we did, because, like, fuck. We fucked up so many people's lives with this ideology that, oh, if you're skinny, you're better. Even, like, those fucking skinny girls think they need to be skinnier. Like, and, like, wait, like, what the fuck? Our purpose on this fucking earth is not to fit into a mold to be thought of as desirable by other people. People we don't even fucking know, dude. And if you body shame by using health, like, as an excuse, you're full of shit. You're full of shit, dude. Like, obviously, not all thin people are super healthy, super mega granola bitches. We're not. We're fucking not. And I used to fucking destroy vapes daily, and starve myself. Trigger warning. I would literally starve myself, purge myself, and then eat like shit, and then drink all shit, and then drink like shit. And then I would still be skinny, but I wasn't healthy. Not at all. And this is something that fucking parents also deal with. Like, fat phobia isn't just a thing that we experience. Our previous generations also experienced that. Again, at a much more traumatizing, no, I'm not gonna say much more traumatizing, but it was at a lot of higher levels. Like, people are now speaking up against it, you know what I mean? whether they want to agree with it or not. A lot of the reasons, like, older people like get to enjoy the freedoms they have now is because other malcriadas would be fucking rebelling during those times. You know what I mean? Like, fighting against the fucking standards. We're the ones who do that. Who else does that? Like, every time every time you go against the status quo, you're fucking called a malcriada because you're not behaving. You're not doing the thing you're supposed to do. Hey, but guess what? What if the fucking world isn't doing the right thing? I have to say they're not doing the right thing, because then you guys will just keep listening and just do whatever you're told. That's not okay. That's not fucking okay. Ugh. But anyways, this is what your parents actually mean. Your mom, at least, means when she comments on your body in a negative way. When I gained weight as an adult woman, everyone treated me like I was less worthy of love and respect, including and especially my husband. I want my daughter to stay thin because I don't want her to feel rejected like I did. So not every moms are like, we're thin then and fat now. There's moms who have been fat like their whole life and they experience life like that, you know? And sometimes they still like they still body shame because what? Guess what? People are brainwashed into doing this stuff. And that's not okay. That's not okay at all for them to say this shit to you. But again, they experience fat phobia. They experience all this shit, but they never really got to talk about it. Because they were scared. They were scared of speaking out. They were scared of doing something that makes them feel good and isn't just for the validation, for men's validation. It's crazy, like, the hold that it has on our moms. And who is it hurting? It's just hurting the new generation of women. You know, times are changing and parents are, like, trying to so bad, like, make their daughters submit. Make their children submit to them still. And that's horrible. But I think times are changing. It's bound to. So many people are now going child free. I'm one of those people. And so many people are still choosing to have children. But guess what? They're teaching them in a different new way. Not different new way, but just in a way without the abuse. With healing, it can happen, you know? I mean, I can't really say that it's happened 100% with my mom, but hey, she's in therapy. When I was a kid, I never thought that I could say that, and now she's in therapy, you know? Like, my fucking mom, in therapy? And I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit and say that I kinda got them to do that. Yeah, many tried but none succeeded to send their parents to therapy, but guess what? I did it. But guess what? They could have done that on their own. I didn't have to waste my time and breath and tears and energy and forcing them to change. I wanted them to change because I wanted them to change for my younger siblings, at least, you know? Like, hey, you fucked up with me, at least do better with my siblings. But I can't force my parents to be good parents. And I can't be my siblings' parents because I'm just not. I'm never going to be, right? But I'm the sister. That's my role. I'm your sister. I'm the sister. Like, I'm the big sister that gives advice on school. I'm the big sister that gives advice on partying. I'm the big sister that gives advice on just life without the judgment. I feel like that's what siblings are. Because we're in the same generation, usually. You know? So, yeah. That's what your mom means. And that's what your mom said. Actually, I talked to her. Yeah. But yeah, she's in therapy now, and that's crazy. So take my advice, don't take my advice. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay. But anyways, how can you de-escalate it? How can you just like shut the fuck up? Like de-escalating, people like to be like, oh, you're just so soft and you're just avoiding, like, when you, like, no, like, in my head when I say the things that I say, like, I'm like, cool, I fucking like just cartoon grab them by their lips and then throw them across like the fucking world. Like, yeah, this is what I would say now, and what I'm trying to say to my mom if she comments on my body. And I don't think I've said it yet, but I'm going to now. I'm here with you. I'm doing the same with you guys, you know? Okay. The love I have for myself doesn't depend on my size, but I appreciate it if you don't comment on my body. It hurts my feelings and it doesn't do me or you any good. You can translate that in Spanish. How would you say that in Spanish? I guess you could say something like, yo me amo a mí misma sin que importe mi talla, pero apreciaría mucho si no hicieras comentarios sobre mi cuerpo porque me lastima, me duele y no trae bien a nadie, ni a ti ni a mí. You could say it like that, you know, like, your parents can get mad at you if you yell at them. If you tell them, like, fuck you, don't fucking tell me shit about my body. What about your body, bitch, huh? All your fucking this, all of that. Like, if you respond like that, she's not gonna fucking hear you. But if you respond like in a de-escalating way, she can't get mad at you for standing up for yourself. Like, yeah, I just think it's we get really nervous and anxious to set boundaries with ourselves, especially if it's just little tiny ones, especially if it's just with our fucking parents, because we think we owe our parents our lives. And yeah. And if you're religious or spiritual, you know that's not true. Like, they're just the portal, you know, between worlds. They're whatever they did, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, like, if you're spiritual, if you are religious, like, you know that life was always there. And you can't, you know what I mean? So, you don't owe them your life. Come on. Okay? Ugh. You know, like, I hate that we have to come off as, like, uptight, but we have to not care. It's really hard to not care what your mom thinks, but she isn't going to change, and you won't be the person she'll listen to. And it's not because you aren't smart enough or clever enough, but it's because it's not your job. I know it's just awful, and it feels like the worst when your parents are trying to control how you eat and are upset about how you look. You feel like a product, and that is not okay. But you won't have to live under the roof forever. And it may feel like you won't, you know, it feels like this is your life forever. It's not. It's just a phase in your life, in your huge life. And you don't have to fight it or rush it. It's okay. Next. When are you gonna get a real job? This translates to, I don't want my children to struggle like me, since my husband and I didn't spend/save our money wisely. So now I have to pressure my kids into a secure career field so they can support me and their dad when we're old. This was never my dream, Mom. It was yours. Ha! Classic. Very, very classic. But when I was little, I quickly learned we all have a void inside ourselves. No matter how well put together someone looks, they're all trying to feed their void. It, by itself, is neutral. It's just a wheel that begs to be turned. We make it good and bad. I fed my void with my parents' validation. Then I grew up. And I learned that they're just people. The void was still hungry, and I owe them nothing. If I do help them, that's because I'm a good person. Not because it'll make them like me. I don't want to live by their point system. But all this to say, do not choose your career based on what you think will make your parents happy. Oh, but see, you don't understand what my mom has go through. My dad has been through so much, and they just emotionally abuse me and are narcissistic people. But that's okay because one day they're gonna die, bro. This is your life, babe. This is your life. You know, like, ugh. Anyways, if your mom shames your career path, especially if it's like in the creative section, art, dance, literature, anything, don't listen to her or your dad, whoever is being a bitch to you. Don't listen to them. They're projecting. They're just projecting. If you feel guilty for living at home, pay a bill. Pay a bill, bro. Pay the light bill. Pay the Wi-Fi. Pay the water bill. Don't delay your passions. The fuck? I'm begging you. Please. Please, 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 please. So how do you survive avoiding that argument that always happens? Mommy, nothing is for sure in this world, and I need to chase what makes me happy, and that makes me happy. If they go on and ask you about how, oh, well, your happiness isn't going to pay the bills or whatever the fuck, if they go on that, don't engage. Just don't engage. This is for your peace of mind. You can't win that battle because they don't know how to accept that they're wrong. And that's okay. And just like to wrap things up, living at home is something many malcriadas have to go through right now. The fucking price of houses is criminal. I wouldn't have gotten out so quickly if it wasn't for my husband. And that's not even meant in a like, oh, knight in shining armor kind of way. Like, no. Like, it wasn't like that. But I guess I can talk about that in like an anti-capitalist rage episode or something another day. But back to the topic. I sympathize with girls, women, and femmes still living in their home because they have no other choice. I was there. It was awful. They police our bodies so much more, partly because they think shaming us is the right way to get us to obey and therefore stay quote-unquote safe. But partly is also because they have to prove that their daughter isn't just a little whore running around these streets. Ugh. Oh, because having a virgin slave child makes them look so good in comparison to other parents with like quote-unquote troubled children. The malcriadas. Don't be scared to be seen as a malcriada for choosing to control your life. And to close off, I leave you with a short, very, very, very short poem written by me in a cool slam poetry kind of style. Mom, I'm not better than you. I am you. I am you if you had the chance to go to school. I am you if you had the chance to find true love. I am you if you had the chance to follow your dreams. I am you, and you can't stand it. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you. Yeah, it's just like poetry just like writes me, you know, like, thank you. I'm here every Thursday, you guys. That's all I have for you guys today for this episode of Malcriada, Thoughts of a Girl in a Sick World. And what a sick world it is. Oh my fucking god. This was your host, Citania Magarejo. Thanks so much for listening. And just go be sexy and go have fun and ignore your parents. They don't know nothing. But they do, but they don't, but it's okay, but whatever. Bye!